never mind. All right. Great to be here with you guys. You get me this week instead of Coach Mack, who's out of town. Since Coach Mack was with you last week, we've had the strange scheduling quirk of playing the same team twice. We played Park Hill South on Friday at their place in a conference game. Able to get a conference road win, beat them 60-56 that night. Then because we're in the same tournament and due to seeding, we end up playing them again Monday. They were able to nip us in that one. They got a 65-62 in that one. So we've seen the 9th ranked team in the state back-to-back games. Now we turn around and get St. Pius tonight in the consolation bracket semifinals at North Kansas City tournament. And that's where we are.
What gave you guys the momentum coming in the second half of the Park Hill South game on Friday?
What do we think the difference was? Or a lot of things made a big difference. We made a couple of defensive adjustments. It did not hurt that we got their best player, their leading scorer, returning All-State kid, got in a little foul trouble. That didn't hurt us at all. They started out with a guy essentially considered probably their 5th of their 5 starters, hit a bunch of shots early. We adjusted defensively on him. That made a big difference. And we got contributions from a number of players. And we scored 60, but no one had more than 13. They got a big dunk coming out of a timeout. We respond with Jalen Perry hitting a big 3. So every time they seemed to get momentum, we were able to seize it right back. And I think that was a big thing. And just a number of big plays by players. It was one of the best high school basketball games you're ever going to see.
What was the atmosphere like in the locker room during the game last Friday?
During the game, I will say halftime, Coach McCabe was probably as fired up as you're ever going to see Coach McCabe. The gentleman I used to coach with used to talk about he had small, medium, and large as far as how big his personality was at halftime and post-game. Coach Mack gave him an extra large. It was a jumbo size. And I'm sure that didn't hurt. They were challenged. We did not play well in the first half. And Coach McCabe made it clear we hadn't played well. He challenged people to step up. And guys, it took one guy taking the lead and everyone jumped on board. That's kind of what he predicted at half and what he challenged them to do at half. And that's what happened.
Throughout the season, how have the players shown that family mentality?
We've got a tight-knit group. You see our guys are together on and off the court. When we get off the bus, it's everybody walking together to the locker room. When the game ends, our JV guys go in the locker room with our varsity guys. They walk out together. It doesn't hurt that we have 8 seniors. Those guys have been together, JV varsity practice, some of them for 4 years. Some of them were together on the freshman team, the sophomore team, the JV, and but they've been together. They pick each other up. They've been through some tough times, some really good times. But the biggest thing is they like each other. You can see it when they play. And that doesn't hurt. I think that's the biggest thing. They like each other. And it's visible when they play.
What are going to be some of your main focuses for the game tonight?
Well, tonight, first thing is taking care of ourselves. We have focused very intently on rebounding in the last week and a half, 2 weeks. Second half against Park Hill South on Monday, we did not allow a single offensive rebound, and that's where that focus came through. So taking care of ourselves, we're going to have to get into offense. We struggled a little bit with that with Park Hill South, their defensive pressure, and we're going to continue to. We always focus on defense and rebounding. If you can defend and you can rebound, you can win high school basketball games. As far as St. Pius, they present challenges that are different than a lot of teams we've seen.
So you just mentioned St. Pius. So how do you think that's going to prepare you, the St. Pius game, for playing against Liberty next week?
Well, you know, every game builds something because each team presents different challenges. You know, a few weeks ago we played Baser Linwood. Offensively, their offensive system is much like Liberty's. St. Pius presents challenges because they have guards who can really score. Park Hill South has guards who can really score. Liberty definitely has guards who can really score. I mean, Jalen Lewis is setting their all-time scoring record. It's going to be so far out of reach, I don't think anyone will touch it. But seeing Pius with their scoring guards and their offensive motion, that will help us both in, you know, whether it's Thursday's game, Tuesday, Friday. We've got a long way to go before we see Liberty, but every game kind of builds, and the variety of opponents we see, it all helps us to get to where when we get to that district tournament, we're prepared for anything anybody wants to throw at us.
Earlier you were talking about how your schedule is really weird and you played Park Hill South twice in the same weekend, but we had two different outcomes. What do you think the main difference was?
One of the well, give them credit where credit's due. Their returning All-State guard, Lamel Robinson, he's a 3-year starter. Got him in foul trouble on Friday. He finished with a very quiet 18 points, to the extent you can be quiet with 18 on Friday. He rolled around and put up 28 on Monday. Big difference there. Their other 3-year starting guard, now most of these guys are juniors and they're going to be back next year, but Desi Williams, he finished with 10 on Friday, 18 on Monday. So their play made a big difference for them. Our guys, you know, we battled. They shot the ball a little better. They made a few more free throws. They went 10 of 11 from the free throw line in the fourth quarter. And that was a big difference. And again, little things, little plays. You know, we didn't seize momentum on Monday like we did on Friday. That also made a big difference. And I guess we'll see you guys next week. Hopefully we will be bringing home 2 more victories in the North Kansas City tournament. And then we will have another conference game before we see you on next Wednesday. Thank you guys.